So go ahead, Richard.
Okay. I liked our preparation this week. I like the team's attitude. They've worked hard. It seems like, week 2 we should improve. I feel like we had a better Monday, a better Tuesday, a better Wednesday, and so on. So I feel like the week's gone well. I feel like their preparation has been on point. We still have work to do, a lot of mental work to do between now and game time. But it's been a great start. So we got to just carry that over to the field. As I just told the team, it's going to come down to executing. That's the bottom line. We need focused, disciplined execution. There's going to be motion, there always is, but that's going to go out the window, and it's going to come down to who executes and who makes plays when the game's on the line. So excited about the opportunity. I like where our team's at, and we'll go from there.
Questions?
Mark, just to set our expectations with the injury report thing, there are guys on there that maybe we didn't see get hurt. How common is that little things pop up that maybe we just never heard about in the past that are going to show up?
Absolutely. Constantly, for us. So, we've had discussions on that because this is new to us. And I've even talked to a lot of coaches in the league. Every day we got to update it. We all have a pretty good feel, and like I've told you before, I'm not trying to hide anything. I've always been forthright with things. But if they're injured, if they're not 100%, they're on there. But unless they say doubtful or out, we expect them to at least give a shot. Does that make sense? It's hard for me to. Susan and I just talked on the way over here. It's like it is that is what it is.
It's
not trying to.
Report, not just injury. So.
Yeah, and nobody's trying to be deceitful. It's just we still have 48 hours before we figure out who can play or not.
When you look back and study the film, you talked about it on Monday, but about Brock's performance, especially being his first start. As you look at it now, how do you feel about it?
I feel, the same way that I talked about it after the game. I felt pretty good. Watching it live, I felt, very comfortable that he made good decisions. Far from perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but like I mentioned, it didn't surprise me. He went out and played ball. And that's what we're looking for. At that position, there's going to be times when you got to get off schedule. I thought he was really good off schedule, and and he really did some good things in rhythm as well and on time. So we need to continue to do that. Obviously, I think he was probably a bit amped up, really running hard and taking some hits. Got to know the down and distance and the situation of the game on when to take those type of hits. There's going to be times when the game's on the line and maybe you're going in to score or tough third downs when you really have to lower your shoulder and take some big hits and have some tough runs. But there's other times when you just have to be wise, and I think that'll come just from playing and more experience.
Coach, you said on Monday how is juice overrated? We got to come in, we got to be prepared. You always talk about how you and South Carolina are always evenly matched. Are you looking forward to the fact, and do you like the fact that you're starting SEC play so early to get these guys ready to go?
I've always taken the approach, it is what it is. I don't set the schedule. So whatever comes at us, we're going to deal with, and this is the next opponent, and this is the next situation. As I mentioned many times, I always start that Monday, whatever the situation is. We could be coming off a big win or a close win or a loss or whatever, on the road. Whatever the situation is, we'll deal with it. And, so they're next, so let's go play.
Fred mentioned yesterday he wanted to clean some things up at safety. I'm sure it could be said at every position, but what specifically do you want to see from those guys this week? That
just clean. We need to be clean. Clean with our vision. And guys, as I told you last week, as I told the team many times going into game one, everybody wants to do too much. Everybody, worked hard. They've lifted, they've run, they want to go, make every play, and you have to take care of your business. You got to do your primary responsibility first. And I think, we're talking about just dirty eyes and guys getting a little over anxious. They just got to do what we're asking them to do, and then play football.
Talked to Zion yesterday, and he mentioned that was something that really the coaches didn't have to point out on film, that the players are experienced and old enough now that they kind of self-police and hold each other accountable for stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he needs to because he's one of the ones that have dirty eyes. But he does have a lot of experience. He plays a lot of football, and I have a lot of confidence in him. He's a good football player, and just again has to play within the scheme, and understand some things. But yeah, he probably was one of those guys that's a little over anxious and realized it and watched it, and will get it corrected.